What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you're Misa 𝐿𝐼𝐻, it looks like you are upset about the way you were portrayed in the Netflix documentary. Listen, Kirk Burrows, I believe, was on the Netflix documentary, and The Breakfast Club, which is Diddy, I Love Diddy headquarters. I don't care what y'all say. We're critical of it. Okay, listen to what they have to say, because I believe, no, it was Erik 𝐼𝐻 and also I believe Kirk Burrows had things to say about the way Diddy treated Misa. Now, let me just say this. I don't think anybody except for Misa and Diddy know the way Diddy treated. I do know this, okay? And this goes for every woman and man that's around Diddy. You know, it is a very pick-me, misogyny, ignorant, you never read a book attitude to be like, well, he never hit me. He was always nice to me, because that is victim blaming. Because you honestly assume that this person's not violent. That person, drove them to do something. You know that old joke, only you can prevent domestic violence. Learn to be a better cook. That's the attitude they have, just dumb and ignorant, right? He was always nice to be. He made me feel like a woman, right? Because you think that the women must have did something, but you know how to love him right. And he's always going to be. Now, I'm not saying this, Misa felt that way. I'm saying 𝐿𝐼𝐻 was talking like that. I don't know the way she felt either, right? I find it interesting that they left 𝐿𝐼𝐻 out of it. She was just so insignificant. Shorty wop. Anyway, right? But I'm sure 𝐿𝐼𝐻's happy about that. The whole point of the matter is, there are people that victim blame. They often feel that the person that is beating is weak. And no lie, being beaten up, one of the most humiliating, degrading things that could ever happen to anybody, especially by someone that you care, that say they love you and that you have feelings for, right? But the whole point of the matter is the fact that everybody, every woman that supported Diddy, every man that supported Diddy, that's known Diddy for a while, you know what he's like. You know the way he treats men and women and anybody that gets on his nerves. And the fact that everybody stood there quietly and said, well, that's just him. Because for whatever reason, I don't know, I guess the price was good enough, right? They looked the other way. But for everybody that acted stupid, that act like Diddy just beat the victims and didn't lay hands on all the other women in his lives, that may or may not have bore him children, gave them love, shared their body, I don't know. I think it's a little bit naive. But again, only the people that were actually victims of Diddy would actually know that. Anyway, listen to what actually happened on The Breakfast Club. And it actually really makes me really, really sick. But I want to listen with it together, because Charlamagne, listen.
I thought it was a general friendship until I see that this game is being played.
This is Erik 𝐼𝐻.
Misa, he was trying to court her after we broke up.
Sean wants her because Erik was that dude. It was about,
Sean wanted Erik
her over from him.
He had to have the girl. And Sean has a way about, when he gets you, he got you. And now you become property.
Me and Misa was just friends, but he wanted to make sure that there was no calling and me being friends with that girl.
Sean's jealousy, it got to the point where he would put his hands on her right outside.
This is, well, a lot of people say this.
In the street, and he's beating her into the car. Well, she's on the ground. A year or two later, they're still together, and Justin is born.
So Erik 𝐼𝐻 of EPMD is the one that's having a conversation about him and Misa being friends, but Puff thought it was a bit more than that. Now, the second voice is Kirk Burrows, and Kirk Burrows is the person that alleged that he saw this fight situation between Misa and Puff, and Misa, that's not even a conversation she wants to have. She says that right now, she's moved on from all of this. Like, she says it's so disappointing that she was brought up in the way that she was in this docuseries.
I can see that.
They did reach out to her to be a part of it, and she declined. And she just doesn't understand why they're bringing all this up now, because it attaches to her. Like, she's doing businesses, she has nonprofits that she's working on, and these type of conversations and stories, because of how big this case is with Diddy, attached to her and what she's trying to do. And she why? Like, why did I get brought into this? I have nothing to do with you guys' issues.
Yeah, I agree with that. Salute to Kirk Burrows. Nothing but respect for that brother. I don't know him personally.
Well, if you don't, well, he's one of the, they say, co-founders of Bad Boy. He was the one that helped Diddy start Bad Boy, for people that don't know.
But why didn't you tell that story earlier in your life,
Would you have believed it?
others from experiencing future abuse? Like, you should have told that story years ago, Kirk. Like, telling that story now, what's the point? Like, it's just hard to watch people who benefited off Puff and didn't speak on his dysfunction, you know, back then, having the courage, and I put courage in air quotes, to speak on it now.
Yeah, Misa says a lot of the way that these things are being told are just not true. Like, chronologically, they're not true. And then also, like, the under the card thing, she says there were things that did happen, but that did not happen. So it's like a pile on of things that are just, you know, the family is experiencing right now that they just don't need.
I just don't know why you wouldn't tell that story earlier.
Yeah.
What? Would you have believed
Really
him?
stopped future abuse if you would have intervened and said something about it decades ago.
Yeah, even with the 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 situation, and I know 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸, and he's produced stuff on my album for years, but like, what sense does you saying you dated Misa, and then when y'all broke up, Puff the other day? Like,
yeah, y'all already had broke up.
Yeah,
He said it like it just seemed like
conversations
like
now.
like he took your girl, but y'all.
Because we care.
The way that the doc is set up in this part around it, they're trying to paint the whole, like, when Diddy wants something, there's no stopping him, from the girl to the career to whatever. But she said that they were just friends. Now, I do have the part of...
He didn't tell you that, though.
Listen to this, though, right? Because I will say this, I think it's disgusting what the Breakfast Club is doing, and I see them for their works. And again, they aren't an institution, they are whatever, but it's disgusting. I don't know if they're doing this because they have to or because they want to. For Charlemagne to say, why are you speaking up now? You could have prevented victims. That is so disingenuous, because this was the same people that were running interference when the victims were testifying. The nerve. Everybody going to blame everybody but the mofo that was doing it. Why didn't you say nothing before? Because you would have been discrediting them. We already know. The victim said about the way he ran the industry. You could have prevented abuse. You know what, Charlemagne? You know what, DJ Envy? Y'all could prevent abuse right now. And actually speak about what you know, or stop running interference for Diddy. But y'all not. Y'all not, because you don't want to. It's crazy to me. It is crazy to me. And the Diddy bots are, that's why I'm not watching the documentary. You don't have to. 900 million people are watching it worldwide. Again, it is sad, I will say, that Misa is being dragged into this, because I get it. Whatever happened, it must be re-traumatizing. But that is the thing, when you stand next to a monster. You see what I'm saying? Now, Misa has been largely quiet, and Misa knew, Diddy took Misa through hell. If you read those articles about the way he wanted to pay child support for Justin, was giving Kim Porter 10 times more child support than Misa was. He was supposed to pay for the house. He got Misa evicted. Misa been through some shit with Diddy, and she endured, and she made $1 out of 15 cents. So salute to Misa. But the Breakfast Club, why you saying nothing now? Because they can. Because they got the platform. Anyway, right? Coffee Dark Sweet said, unfortunately, people have every right to share their story no matter who is a part of it. It's not slander or defamation of character if it's true, and the story will help Cassie's case and any other violence-related cases against Diddy, and hopefully help keep him locked up so he doesn't do this to any more people. Unfortunately, Misa was hurt in the process and re-triggered, possibly by the people who witnessed that. That is also their trauma now as well, and they have every right to share it. Maybe next time, keep the names out the story, especially if it's already known that they didn't want to talk about it. Again, TZ Whip said, that's like asking why an SA victim didn't tell their story earlier. People were silenced, whether it was due to money or scared to be heard. Listen, and again, the real Tam said, y'all act like there isn't a reason people are afraid to speak out. Again, to me, the Breakfast Club, they're talented, they're funny, they're amusing. They are media royalty, and they are also paid opposition. And they are also going hard for a man that they just don't care what he did, because at the end of the day, he was nice to them. Anyway, shout out to Misa. it sucks that she has to be re-traumatized, but at the end of the day, why is everybody blaming everybody else? Kirk Burrows is bad for Matt is wrong for speaking. Erik 𝐤𝐵𝐻𝐻's wrong for telling his story. The doc's wrong for being made. Everybody's wrong except for the mofo. Anyway, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Go watch that doc. There is so much more information. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.